Gen Z, generation that just doesn't seem to fit in anywhere. My generation doesn't seem to fit into the modern day workforce. We don't really relate to any other generation in our past, thanks to all the newfound technology that we have so easily accessible at our fingertips today, with people as divided as US politics. Now, there are many different factors affecting all of this, and we're going to broadcast some of those concerns today here in this video. If you personally feel like you relate to anything in this video, or you just simply have some thoughts and opinions about it, feel free to like, comment your thoughts and opinions below, and subscribe to see my daily uploads around here around 12 p.m. Central Time. Now let's get into the video.
I hate applying for jobs nowadays. It seems like whenever I first started working when I was 16, shit was like way more simpler.
True.
You could just go into a place, say, hey, I want to apply for a job. They give you a paper application. You fill that out in 10 minutes. Then you give it back to them. Then they would call you or wouldn't call you. Nowadays, I go up to a place, they're over here talking about, oh, you need to go online. For what? I'm right in front of you.
All right. Now, believe it or not, I shit you not, the first job I ever had, first real job, let's say, I literally walked into the place. It was a bowling alley bar and grill type deal. I walked into the place. The manager at the front brought me back into the kitchen. I shook the hands with the chef. They gave me a shirt. I filled out just like he said. I filled out the paper application, and I had the manager help me out doing it because I was young. I didn't know what I was doing, and I literally started working that same hour. I was working the same day I went in to apply. Now they literally make you jump through hurdles. They'll say you got to go online, you got to go on the website. Well, you got to have some sort of background check. Man, I need some money. You guys look like you're understaffed. Let's get going. It's a whole ordeal right now that they made it, and it's crazy how it's like a business now. Is like Indeed and LinkedIn. It's a business to help you get a job versus like I'm trying to get a job through business. Weird.
For what? You can't at least talk to me for a second, or at least like give me something to fill out? Why does everything gotta be online?
They'll literally like scoot you out the door. I've been in the situation because right now, if you saw my last video I posted yesterday, I can't find a job right now to save my life. I've been unemployed for roughly 6 months, and I've been couch surfing for about a year. I'm going to be moving back into my childhood home here in the next week, and I'm going to touch on that at the end of the video. But this is chatting with Josh after all, so we're going to have a little bit of chat at the end, and why my uploads have been so non-consistent lately. But yeah, they give you the runaround, to say the least.
Imaginary game we're all playing where we pretend to be someone we're not at work, so we can get money that we pretend is valuable, so we can pay for our house that we pretend to own, and we can watch people pretend to be something else on social media, and we listen to a government that's pretending that they care about us, and we're going to a store to buy food that they're pretending is healthy. What the fuck?
It's like we're living in the Matrix. Yeah, but for real though, it's like nothing's real anymore, and the things you think are real, it's just all a phenomenon, folks.
A lot of the things we take as normal are actually fucking insane, okay? The phrase "to earn a living" is batshit crazy. Do you
It does sound kind of out of whack now that he puts it that way.
understand how crazy that is? To earn a living implies that if you don't earn, you fucking die. You have to earn the right to live. Is that not a God-given right? Especially when we have enough resources to feed everyone and have a lot left over, right? And we're choosing to create a society in which you have to work to not die. I mean, sure, make it so you have to work to afford luxuries. Okay, fine, we can argue on that. But I think we could all hopefully agree that you shouldn't have to work to not starve to death.
And they're taking away those EBTs. I made a video about that before too. And what's it called? The homeless shelters, they're getting full. There's less beds and less cots by the day, which is just leading people to either resort to living on the streets, finding some sort of car or van to live in if you're so accessible to be able to do that. But even right now in the current economy, I can't afford to have a car because I can't afford the insurance, I can't afford the gas, I definitely can't afford the nonstop sort of maintenance that it requires to have a beat up car because I can never afford a new one. Let's be honest. So it really is like either you work forcefully or you die broke and hungry and homeless.
Right, like that is a crazy thing that is normal. And a lot of people will tell you that's normal, but it's crazy that it's normal. That is insane when we have the resources to make it not normal. That's the key point there, right? It's not.
Okay, this guy's making a lot of sense here, and he's not. Now, some of you guys are going to say, well, why don't you just go to China? Why don't you just go to a communist country? We're not talking about communism. We're talking about the bare minimum goods and needs and services to just get by throughout life, like having some sort of food in your belly, having some sort of, housing over your head, and not having to constantly worry about that. And then even if you do get a job, every single penny that you end up scraping by throughout the time you're wasting, you're contributing to that job, um, it's all going to that. So you really have no entertainment. So you're literally just working to live. You're never really living to work.
Not the fucking Middle Ages. We have enough food. We have a large surplus. And the other thing is medical supplies, right?
I'm sorry to keep pausing. When I worked at a grocery store, I worked at multiple different restaurants. The amount of food that gets thrown away in this country is absurd. I remember back at my first job at that bowling alley bar and grill, we would have these banquets in the back, and they would have just buffets of food. People would buy them for weddings, for high school reunions, different sort of like anniversaries. Over half of that food never got eaten, so a lot of the staff was able to take it home, and that was a plus for working there. But the majority of it just got thrown away or was left out for far past the due date time where you couldn't eat it without getting sick anyway. So we literally made all this food for it to just get wasted, and it was all paid for. Somebody could have ate it. Somebody probably needed it out there. And it is like the city, so somebody probably only a few blocks away. But no, it's against protocol. All has to be thrown away. Same with Target. Back when I worked at Target, you can't take the food, even if you make some by accident. That you're eating off the company's dime, and they won't have that. No, no, no.
Medical treatment, medical care, drugs, whatever it may be. How the fuck is that a for-profit business? I mean, genuinely, how the fuck
It's a cold world.
are you going to sit there and not just give that to people? I mean, even if it's a for-profit business, have the government buy it and give it out for free. Like, there's ways to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so crazy that we're all just normalizing this and we're arguing for scraps. We're literally arguing over scraps.
That's all it
Do you
is.
understand that? Every day we wake up and fight for political causes that are fucking scraps. You know, UBI would solve a lot of things, but that's scraps. $1,000 a month? You think that's gonna fucking cut it? I mean, Jesus Christ.
All right, this last video pains me. This one's pretty devastating. But to be honest, super relatable to a lot of people, not just Gen Z. I know this video is based around Gen Z, the lost misfits, the misfit generation, the land of the misfits. And I'm kind of doing that like a Christmas reference. If you guys kind of talk, kind of old school to be honest, but I do remember it when I was growing up. And it's the land of the misfit toys. Sorry, that's what this title is. But it's just bizarre how not only younger generations are facing this type of backlash or facing this type of wrath of the system. The majority generations are. You've seen me make videos in the past about boomers are doomed to work for the rest of eternity. Our retirement is just getting swept out the window. Unless you have enough money, your freedom will never be free. It'll never be secured, even if you work for your entire life. So it's really making people just not really have any sort of ambition, motivation, or any really motive at all to continue on with the modern day system. Now, my current situation, as you saw in my last video, I am looking for a survival job. I love the way that lady put it in the last video that I made. She called it a survival job because I don't even care about a career. I need some sort of income to pay those little bills that nonstop keep coming. And now, I have been living in my sister's unfinished basement. I definitely feel like I've overstayed my welcome. My mental health issues is making it a burden on a lot of people around me. So I'm going to be moving back into my childhood home that my older brother is now occupying. Being that out, like if you guys have heard me say in the past, I'm living in a very low population type of place right now. The city, terrible in my opinion. I hate it. It sucks. I really hate the whole state I'm from, but at this because it's like half winter, it's half glaring heat summer. The Midwest is terrible in certain spots. It's nice, but it's not if you. It's not. You don't feel that way if you've been here your whole life. Now, I can't wait to get back into my childhood home because even though it's not necessarily the same home I grew up in, if you know what I mean, I will be in the city. I know like the back of my hand. I will have so many more options. I've even in my last video, like I said multiple times now, I mentioned how the job opportunities around here are slim to none, and the pay is so low because it's a low populated area. Versus back in the cities, I have so many options. I can even get back to some of the jobs I've had in the past, and I know people, so I can build some sort of connection, which will definitely help my mental health, which is slacking, and my mental health is very lackluster right now. So let's say that let's just leave it at that, to say the least. Either way, if any of you guys relate to anything in this video, if you guys have thoughts and opinions about the lost Misfits generation of Gen Z. You guys have any thoughts, opinions about this current economy right now, the workforce, money, all that nonsense? Feel free to let me know your guys' thoughts, opinions down below in the comments. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody who supports me over on Patreon. It's because of these videos and because of a handful of your guys' support that I'm even surviving right now. And I am not one of YouTubers who just has a nice backdrop and green screen and has it all figured out to talk about these problems. No, a lot of these problems I talk about, I'm currently in the depth of. I'm currently in the gutter of a lot of these issues that I discussed on my channel. And so I can relate. I'm just like a lot of you guys. And people say that, but I want to show the full story. I hope one day to be able to um, uh, push this YouTube channel off the ground and be able to push it to a place where I'm able to somehow do it full time so it can kind of sustain my income. Even if it never gets to that point, I plan to continue doing this for the rest of the time because this is kind of my hobby. It's what I love doing. It's how I feel like myself. So, and also I love all the comments. I love all you guys who reach out, positive or negative. But yeah, again, this video is not super long. I'm going to cut it kind of short because, like I said, I have a lot going on in my life. I will be moving in about a week, and I don't really have much. I kind of got rid of everything I owned about a year ago when I moved out of my last apartment that I did own. The last time I did have anything in control of my own. It wasn't really in control though because I could never afford anything. But it is what it is. Either way, I appreciate all you guys, and I will stop rambling, and I will see you in the next one.